If you ever wanted to can tomatoes, but you didn't want to have to buy any extra equipment, this video is for you. I had all of this in my cabinet. I started with some tomatoes from my garden. I probably had about 10 tomatoes. That gave me about 3 pints once they were canned. First, you're going to want to take the core out of your tomatoes. Once you've done that, be sure to cut an X on the bottom. This will help whenever you go to peel your tomatoes. Next, you're going to blanch your tomatoes. You don't want to cook them too much. So bring your water to a boil. Leave them in the water for about 30 to 60 seconds until you start to see the skin peel back. Next, you're going to take the skin off of your tomatoes. Set the skin to the side, and then whenever you're adding your tomatoes to the pot, be sure to squeeze all the good juices out of there. You don't want anything to go to waste. Once your tomato is fully peeled, just chop it really coarse. It doesn't need to be anything special. The next step is optional, but I like to simmer my tomatoes for about 3 hours to really bring out all of that good flavor before canning. So you'll turn that on high heat and add about a tablespoon of salt. Once it starts to simmer, cover and turn it on low for about 3 hours. Next, put your mason jars in the oven on 275 for at least 10 minutes. Then, once the tomatoes have fully simmered, add those to the mason jars. Then you'll want to heat up your lids by adding them to a pot of simmering water for at least 2 to 3 minutes. Make sure the mason jars are nice and dry before adding your lids. When you're adding your tomatoes to the mason jars, be sure to leave at least half an inch of space at the top. And when you're adding your rings, they only need to be fingertip tight. Before your mason jars have sealed, you'll be able to push on the top and hear it pop. That's how you're going to check it at the end to make sure it's fully sealed. Use cloth to keep them separated and also not touching the bottom so that they don't crack. Bring your water to a boil and then let it sit for at least 30 to 45 minutes. Once they're properly sealed, lay them on their sides and cover and let them sit overnight. Store them in a cool, dry place for up to a year. And that's it. I love to use my canned tomatoes to make salsa every single week. If you thought this video was helpful, be sure to save for later and follow along for more easy recipes and kitchen hacks.